All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Art Talk. So today I wanted to talk about being your own boss and what it just kind of means in my opinion from I started at the age of 18, sort of wanting to be my own boss. And the reason that came about was my mom was a residential real estate agent, and she would always ask for us to help her just drop flyers off at doors and do things like that. So I always had a very strong work ethic, and even just at younger age when I was doing a paper route, and always just kind of wanted a bit of that independence. And I saw my mom just kind of having that. Again, it was a lot of hard work, but I saw that there was something to that as opposed to just working for someone else all the time. It was something, of course, we have to do. And I got my jobs, and I did my jobs from working at a grocery store and working as a dishwasher at a restaurant and doing things like that. But I also realized that I also wanted to be my own boss one day. And what does it really mean to be your own boss? I think one of the most important qualities that you have to have in order to be your own boss is you have to be organized. You have to find a way to become more organized. And I think today it's even more easier than ever with all these software programs and notifications and alerts. And these are all the things that it's going to require you to do, especially when you're your own boss. You got to be in charge of collecting, payments. That's something people have trouble with. I've heard that, I can never be a freelance. I can never do my own thing because I won't even follow up and just get money that's owed to me. So it's really about responsibility. And are you willing to do that? Are you willing to show up at things? That's going to be very important. Are you willing to work extra hard? Are you willing to work on weekends if you need to be? There's going to be so many factors that come into being your own boss. And some people, it's just not what they're cut out to do. You just like, there's no way. I'm just no good at speaking to people. I'm not comfortable with talking with people and about this and that. And those are all the decisions that you need to weigh in for yourself to determine if this is something that you want to do. Because otherwise it is going to be a hustle, but there's also a great freedom to it, because by being your own boss, you get to decide. You get to decide if you want to work today. You get to decide what the extra things you're going to do. Like, you know what? I can maybe increase sales by doing this. I can maybe do this and do that. And that can be very exciting. Or I'm going to, it's being your own boss, creating your own comic, creating your own book that now you're going out to sell at conventions. That's part of just being your own boss, and something that, again, requires you to make sure that you're doing investigating and seeing what's coming up, or just learning about the industry you're getting involved in. At one point I was interested in licensing, and I was going to the licensing show. I was going to just all different seminars just to try to hear different people's perspectives on how they approach business and what they do for their business, even if it's not related to art. But do you have that willingness? And I think by having that willingness, then you're gonna just go for it, right? And it does take that dedication, but also you making sure that you're truly researching what it is that you want to get into. And you're not going to have all the answers, and the answers can't be given to you. They're not all there. Oftentimes it's going to be just trial and error. And are you willing to fail? Are you willing to lose money? Right? Have you been saving money? Are you good at saving money? Because that's another thing. In order to make money, you got to spend money, right? And for you to just invest in yourself, and that's the most important thing. So being your own boss, of course, isn't for everyone, but I think it gives you the opportunity to at least do something more in your life that maybe you feel that you've even been capable of doing. So that way you're just not relying on people all the time. Being your own boss is setting up, doing caricatures at a street fair. That's being your own boss. That's taking the initiative to find out, look, there's a street fair coming to my town. I'm going to call the city, find out what permits I need or anything else that I need, and then move into that and just find. Again, it's trial and error, and be willing to do things where someone's going to tell you off and tell you, no, you can't do that. You got to, I didn't know what to do. So sometimes being just naive can go a long way. And I feel like a lot of things that I did in my life I've been out of being naive. I just didn't know. So there's that saying, better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And that's what I did a lot of times. I just did things. And if someone told me that was the wrong way to do something, well, obviously they knew the right approach to do it because they're telling me I did it wrong. Okay, so what do I need to do? You need to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, thank you very much for your help. And that's what you do. So you got to be that willing to go for it and do that. And so if you're really trying to aim, and maybe your aim or goal may be to get into the studios, and that's not necessarily happening for you right now, but you're like, but I want to make a living doing this. I want to do my art. Well, you got to make sure that you're posting on the right platforms. That could even be just looking for job platforms out there, and again, researching and digging and putting yourself out there, and the persistence. And that's what you have to be. You got to be extremely persistent to be your own boss. And if you don't have that, and it's an excuse, you can say, well, that's not me, I don't have that, and you could just let it die and just fade away. Otherwise, you can say, I'm going to change that. Like, we can change our physical bodies. We can decide, do I want to just keep eating and eating and eating and just do unhealthy things for my body? Or am I going to choose to do exercise for my body and just, work out? Am I going to choose to wear these sort of clothes that maybe people perceive me this way because I'm just wearing tattered clothing all the time? How are people going to perceive me? I can choose to wear those clothes if I want to. Otherwise, I could choose just to get some clothes if I want to be and maybe feel a little bit more professional, and I'm going into a professional environment and I want to do something like that. That's my choice. So we have choices that we get to make all the time for ourselves, and you can decide, am I just making an excuse? Am I just saying that I'm not this sort of person, that's not me? Or are you willing to go above and beyond? And that does mean doing research. That does mean reading books. That does mean going to seminars. That does mean doing all the things that you can to move towards the goal that you wish to set for yourself. And that's what it's going to require to be your own boss. Again, nothing's easy. Nothing's easy, and nothing's, I almost don't feel anything's impossible. I think things are difficult. I think things can be hard. But just because it's difficult, it doesn't make it impossible for you to just do what it is that you're really just aiming to do. So start putting together a formula. Start just investing in it. Invest in yourself, and you don't know what can come of that. And you'll be surprised. And you got time to do it. It may not happen in the first 2 months, 6 months, year. It might take 2 years for something to happen. But at least you're putting yourself out there. You're giving yourself an opportunity, if that's something that you wish to do, and maybe even supplement your income on the side by doing something different. It's worth a try. Why not? All right. With that said, make it a great week, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.